welcome back to the Just Fix Yourself podcast. I am Sarah Ives, and I am super excited to bring you some new content. I have to say that I am getting a prep and recording schedule working so that I am making sure that I am bringing you a podcast more often. I have had this brain block about feeling like I have to present a certain type of pattern or a certain amount of information at a certain time, but I'm just going to throw that out the window and I am just going to bring you whatever is on my heart when it is time to record a podcast. And I will include my life stories in it and the things that I think you need to hear to help you understand that you can be in control of your mental health, because that is my purpose in this life, is to help people understand that they can be in control of their mind and their mental health, even when they're struggling with things like anxiety and stuff like that. So anyway, we're going to get into this episode that I am excited to share with you. I have a fun story. So story time, yay. I have a background in mission work. I love doing mission work for other people. I've gone on mission trips all around the United States, and I have been fortunate enough to travel to Honduras and Cambodia on mission trips and fell even more in love with mission work than I already was. And so fast forward in my life to being with ex number two. That's all we're going to call them in these episodes. I don't want to be that petty. Your girl's a little petty, but we won't be that petty. So we'll fast forward to ex number two. We were living together at this time. We had been living together for a little while, and he was an alcoholic and just didn't want to get his life straight. He kept telling me, yeah, he's going to get it together. He's going to do all of these things. He had actually gotten a really good job. He had bought a car from my sister that, she had worked for a long time. And then when she was ready to upgrade, she let him buy it because, again, we were trying to fix someone else and help someone else in this world. But that wasn't the case. And so he ended up taking that car before he was even eligible to legally drive yet, and went across the street to a bar that he could have walked to from where we lived at the time, and proceeded to get drunk and then crashed that car into a parked car, which crashed into another parked car. And the police followed the trail of fluids leaking out of the smashed up car all the way back to our apartment. So when I came home, because of course I was a volunteer youth director at a church at the time, and I had been at church because it was a Sunday. So I had been at church all day with my youth and having a great day. And I came home and there was cops all over the place. There were like 5 police cars with all of their lights on. I was like, dear Lord, please, please don't let this be at my apartment. I came around the corner and they were all on my street. I was driving my Jeep Wrangler at the time with the windows off and everything, and somebody from out of the neighborhood came running up and said, they got your guy, they got your guy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because that is not my life, y'all. I do not do things that get me in trouble with the police. And I got back to my apartment. My front door was wide open. Thank God my cats at the time were too scared to want to venture outside. They stayed inside. And he had been arrested. Ex number two had been arrested and was in the back of the cop car. Okay. And this was probably one of like the most memorable nights of my life, because here I am volunteering at a local church as their youth director. And while I am at church with my youth, my boyfriend at the time is getting arrested for drunk driving. And this is in the afternoon that this all happened, okay? And so I, of course, tried to go and talk to the police. They wouldn't even let me come over there. He saw me, ex number two saw me from the back of the cop car and started going nuts in the back of the cop car. So I got to watch them pull him out of the cop car and throw him on the ground and, all of that stuff, trying to get him to calm down. And so they took him to jail, and he called me once he got there. Of course, I stayed with him. He ended up being in jail for 3 months. And I went and saw him, on the weekends whenever I could have those visitation moments. Send in letters, of course, send in money, talk to him on the phone all day, every day, whenever I could, And so he was in jail for 3 months. When he came home, well, back up, while he was in jail, I bought a house because, of course, when we talked on the phone, we talked about, him coming home and being together and putting this behind us and, happily ever after and living together. So I got myself together and I bought a house, which is where I live now. And I absolutely love it. I loved it when I bought it and I still love it, even though we're not at the point of it being totally fixed yet. But I bought my house while he was in jail. And so the plan was that, again, I'm fixing someone. I bought a house so that he could come home and we could have our little happily ever after situation, whatever. So I moved in here by myself with, not by myself, but with my family, not with his ex number two's help, of course, because he was in jail. But I moved in here with my family. Thank God for their help. Got everything moved in, got the house livable. For him to come home to from jail. He came home from jail about a week after he came home. He proposed to me. Who knows where he got a ring from. But I was sitting on the couch in a towel. I had just gotten out of the shower and I was like doing my makeup and getting ready for church. It was, again, a Sunday. For some reason, all of this stuff kept happening on a Sunday. So I was getting ready for church and he just came into the living room and said, we know we're going to be together. So, can we get married or whatever? And of course me, yeah, I'm fixing you. So I was like, yeah, yes, of course. So I said yes. And we were all, happy. Well, about a week or so after that, I left to go on my mission trip to Honduras. I was fortunate enough to take two young adults, youth with me to Honduras to do some work on a facility that provides free medical care for families in Honduras that can't help it, for families in Honduras that can't afford it. And so we were actually going as an art and kind of well-being type mission trip. We actually went and just like painted some murals and things in the facility where the kids come to have the medical work done, because it was just kind of bland, and they found a way to let us help. And so we also took a bunch of medical supplies down there. I had to fit everything I needed to be in Honduras for one whole week in my carry-on small suitcase, because our checked bag was a 50-pound duffel bag full of medical supplies. So we took medical supplies down with us, and we got to go and just spend a week in Honduras and pour into the people there and share the things that we had brought with us, and, do these murals and artwork so that these kids can have a little bit more comfort when they come to get medical treatment at the facility. And the whole time that I was there, ex number two and I were in communication, because thanks to Wi-Fi, there was Wi-Fi at the time that I went to Honduras. So, we could communicate with each other through social media or through, whatever texting app. So the whole time while I was in Honduras, we were talking and, talking about coming home and having our life together, right? His story was that he missed me and everything was fine and he couldn't wait for me to get home and, ready to move on, and we're going to come home and just have this great life together. And I called him when we got back into the country from Honduras. We had to fly to a couple different places before we got back to Richmond. So we had a layover in DC. And so I called him when we got back to DC to let him know that we were back in the country. And he let me know that he wouldn't be home when I got home because DC is about 2 hours away from here. And then I had to do a few other things. So it was about 3 more hours before I would be home. And he let me know that he wouldn't be here when I got home. And my parents picked me up from the place where we got dropped off after the mission trip. And I told them that he had let me know that he wasn't going to be home. So when I got home, they came in with me, and sure enough, he was gone already. And he had taken all of our stuff, and he had left our dog in the crate for who knows how long because he was covered in pee and poop, and he had left, was gone. So the whole time I was gone for that week, he told me that we were going to be together. And then when I came home, told me that he was no longer going to be there. And he wasn't. He was gone. And then I found out later on that it was because he had started dating someone else. In that 1 week while I was gone to Honduras, after he had proposed to me, he had already started dating someone else. And so I had to start a new mission. So I just got back from that mission trip and I had to start a new mission. And that new mission was taking care of myself. It was rebuilding myself. It was finding out what made me happy on my own, because then I was back to living on my own. It was reconnecting with positive friends. It was spending more time with my family. It was just getting comfortable on my own. And that took a lot of soul searching, a lot of just discovering who I am. And when I let go of the understanding that I have to be with someone that needs to be fixed in order to provide value, is when my husband and I reconnected and are together and happier than ever. So when you are trying to fix someone else and not pouring into yourself, you are not presenting yourself as who you truly are. And so today's mission in my life is mission me. It's mission Sarah. It's working on myself daily. It's practicing daily gratitude. It's showing up as my highest self and understanding what that even means. I had no idea what it meant to show up as my highest self. And now I know that it's showing up in the right state of mind so that I can be there for those around me, so that I can provide value to people, so that I can provide things like this, so that I can be there for my husband, I can be there for my family, right? It's exploring energy practices. This is something brand new to me. I have always felt like, as a religious person, I'm not allowed to explore different types of spiritual practices and spiritual activities. And it's just figuring out what soothes my soul. And so for me in my life, what soothes my soul is just continuing to chase this freedom of my mind that I've created by doing all of these daily practices that I do and by making myself a priority. So I went through this relationship. We were together for 3.5 years before I went on that mission trip, and then was told that he wouldn't be there when I got home after only a week of being gone, right? After I came back from this mission trip and had to switch to mission me, to mission figuring Sarah out, I had the best time of my life, y'all. I reconnected with my friends. You know, we went out. I did the single thing, had a good time. You know, I hung out with my good girlfriends. I got closer to my family, went on trips with my family, started new family traditions during that time. And I just got myself right. I got myself right to the point where I was open to the abundance of the universe bringing my husband and I back together, right? So when you make yourself a priority, it's not selfish. It is necessary. And the rest of the things that you want will come along with that part. When you let go of feeling like you have to fix other people and you understand that you attract what you put out. And if you're always putting out negativity and always putting out, you know, woe is me and I have this awful life, instead of focusing on what you do have around you, we have abundance all around us and it's our birthright. We're entitled to that abundance. All we have to do is tune into that abundance. And it is not selfish to tune into that abundance and give your family and your loved ones around you 120%, because you're showing up as your highest self on the front end. You're not having all of these things happen that you have to clean up on the back end. You're showing up as your highest self and you're handling those problems. You're taking the reins of your life. You're owning your life. You're living your dreams and you're making that choice. And it's not selfish. It shows people that you're strong. It shows your kids that they can do whatever they want. It shows your family that even though they might say negative things about you, you're still going to rise up and do the damn thing, right? You focusing on you is what is going to propel you through life. And when you understand what your higher purpose is, it's going to bring you so much more to your life and so much more energy and motivation, y'all. So it is not selfish to put yourself first. Make a mission today that you are going to be a priority. Mission me. Give yourself a list of how you can live out mission me. What's going to make me happy? What's going to soothe my soul? What is going to bring the most value to those around me because it's firing me up? And then live it out. Live your best life. Show up as your highest self. Make that decision. There's nothing wrong with it. It's how you get through life and how you get that abundance that you are entitled to. So, excuse me, I'm getting all choked up because I'm getting fired up over here because I love talking about this, y'all. All you have to do is tune in to the energy and abundance that's around you and stop worrying about everything else. Stop worrying about the past. I tell you this story about this mission trip so that you know that when you make yourself the mission, everything else falls into place. I've never been happier in my life than I am right now because I am a priority and I am worthy of it. So stop trying to fix everybody else around you, y'all, and just fix yourself. That is why this podcast is called Just Fix Yourself, because when you just focus on yourself, it all comes together. So stop trying to fix everybody else and just fix yourself, y'all. I love you. If you found value in this, please do me a huge, huge favor. Like, subscribe, share, invite your friends. Tell everybody. I put out free content. I have this podcast. I have a mental health community on Facebook. I have an Instagram account. I have a YouTube. Like, let's connect. Sarah E. Ives on Facebook, at @it's_Sarah_money, #SarahMoney. Y'all, just fix yourself. Just focus on you. Just tune into the abundance that you're entitled to, and everything is going to happen for you. I love y'all, and I will see you next time.